Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Essence. And in today's video, I would like to talk about the lone wolves of society. Now, there could be few factors that are involved when we talk about those who choose to be loners. However, it's been in my experience that it isn't always, and in fact, it's probably not even mostly a choice that you make. It's usually unintentional, but it happens. Now, some people do choose this lifestyle. They prefer to keep their circles small, walk alone, for whatever reason. Could be their background, their past experiences. Maybe they need to be alone for a little while they figure themselves out and they don't want to hurt anybody. I find that very admirable. However, for the majority who seem to find it difficult to make friends, those who don't seem to attract people the way that others do. Now, I've said this in my past videos. I've told my experience in all throughout my school years. In elementary school, I had very few friends, and the friends that I did have, they didn't last too long. Eventually, they either lost interest or found someone else, and I was left alone. Oftentimes at recess in elementary school, I would just be swinging on the swings by myself until recess was over. Not talking to nobody. Even when we got back to class, I wasn't talking to nobody. Middle school, I didn't really like anybody, and plus it was an awkward age. You know, you're going through puberty, and you are in a different school that has different rules than elementary school, so you're adjusting, and it was just a hot mess. I hated middle school. And I hated everyone in middle school. High school was a little better, but still, there would be like a few people who would say hi to me, and I'm like, oh, hi. But I never really hung out with anyone. It's funny. A lot of the people that I talked to, when I did have them as a friend in high school, they're like, yeah, me and the boys snuck out of the house, and we were drinking all night, or yeah, we snuck off to this party. What about you? My parents never had to worry about me sneaking out of the house. I had nowhere to go. And I was a bit of a goody two-shoes back then. Didn't want to get in trouble. And but yeah, I had really no parties to go to. So where would I go? Walk the streets? My senior year, it seemed like once I did that spell before my senior year, oh my, people just flocked to me. But before that, I would be waiting in the, it was called the commons area, right outside the cafeteria, and that's where people were allowed to wait before they opened the gate and people could go to class. People would walk towards me, like, go to walk up to me, and then all of a sudden it was like they were disgusted, or they were like bounced back by like an invisible force field, and then they went on their way, and I'm just like, did I say something? The fuck? And it's like, I'm smelling myself, and I'm like, I bathed, I have deodorant, and I'm like, I kind of look at myself in the bathroom mirror, and I'm like, nothing disgusting there that I see. So I'm like, is it me? You know, and I didn't say anything to them. They would just bounce off. You know, and there were a few times when I attempted to talk to people, and I was just like, hey, how's it going? And they're just like, like it was a blasphemy, like I was a pariah. And I never could understand it. And I tried to make friends before. I really tried like talking to people, and it just never seemed to work out. And it's not like I was being weird. I was just saying like, hey, hi, my name's Colton. And I'm in this grade, how you doing? And they would be like appalled that I dared say something to them. Like, oh, look at the lower class person. Oh, la-di-da. I just think Pegasus from the Yu-Gi-Oh series. How dare you speak to me, Yu-Gi boy? But I never could understand it. And then I started practicing magic the end of my junior year, and I did that spell where I did ask to make some like new friends. And that was also the year that, I started coming out to my classmates, and I used to be shy and quiet before then, but then I was starting to open up. I was starting to really talk to people, and I was like making jokes, and people were laughing, and they just flocked to me like bees to honey. It was amazing. In fact, this girl, she was my best friend my senior year, ran up to me and hugged me in the hall. And it made me feel good because no one had ever had that reaction to me in school. I was like the loner one. And the point of the story is I did not choose this. And it wasn't my looks, it wasn't my smell, it wasn't my behavior or what I was saying that caused me to be a loner. It took me all these years to realize what most likely was the issue. So obviously I was I was born with an existential sense of self, and it wasn't always like I didn't always have a wider view of myself because I wasn't always practicing magic, but I kind of, I always ask questions about why is things the way they are? Why are things the way they are? And as I grew older, I kind of like got answers to that, like that made sense. And of course, my capacity to understand and practice magic smoothly, I was born with this sense of knowledge and sense of the world. My vibrational energy was higher than most people who aren't as aware as I am. Now, don't think for even a second that me saying that, I was born with a heightened sense of awareness that I don't have my flaws and that I am perfect, because hell no, I'm not. But if you were to ask anyone in my school, is magic real? They'd say no. And if people say, well, magic might be real, and it's like, well, what is it? They could not explain that to you. But if you ask me that question, I sure as hell could give you an answer. If people ask me these spiritual questions, I would be able to probably answer most, if not all of them, while everyone else in my school will be like, I don't know that answer, and because they do not have that sense. They are still asleep. They have not had the awakening. Now, a lot of people, they start off asleep, and, maybe sometime in their life, maybe even then when they're like in their 40s, they'll come to a realization that they're like, maybe there is something more out there than what we see, and maybe I should try and take an interest in something spiritual or religious. Perfectly fine. Everyone reaches the awakening at different ages, and some people never reach it at all. It is what it is. But there are people, and it's not just me, there are people like me who have this awareness, who are peppered into society here and there, who do have this awakening and do have this energy, this slightly, if slightly or higher, vibrational energy to them because of this knowledge that they have. So people who do not have this vibrational energy, who are like below that frequency, are going to feel uncomfortable when they are around these people. Not to say that they can't make friends. Absolutely they can make friends. You know, I have made some friends at my workplace. And very nice people, you know, different religions, and some don't really believe in anything at all, but, you know, doesn't mean we can't talk to each other. And, you know, we behave smoothly and interact with one another on a respectful and positive level. This does not mean that people who have this slightly higher vibrational energy cannot make friends. There are some people who don't care what you believe in, and they may not believe in anything, but they don't care if you do or don't. They can still vibe with you. And those people's energy, I think, are higher than those who have absolutely, like, no clue about anything in the spiritual, who have no sense of the world beyond this one. So that is why people like me, like us, who have this, are loners. And I would love to make friends. I love making friends. In fact, whenever I can, I try to, you know, strike up a conversation with someone new. Like, there's a new kid who started at work a few weeks ago, and I've been talking to him, and he's a really cool guy, you know, and we've been talking, laughing, you know, and I'm like, see, I am likable. And I don't strike up a conversation with everybody about spiritual stuff unless it comes up. Friend at my work, she was talking about, you know, how the religion she was raised in, which was like Catholic. And I said, oh, really? Well, I said, well, my parents tried to raise me Christian, but I ended up a pagan. And she was like, oh, really? That's interesting. You know, and you know, she didn't want to be into it. She just was like, huh, that is interesting. Tell me more. So if you are one of these people out there who are lone wolves, not by choice, this could be the reason why. Now, not to say that some people who are loners that aren't by choice, not all of them are of the spiritual nature, you know. Some people have issues. Some have behavioral issues. Some have wacky personalities or no personality at all. Some people do not bathe as often as they should. And some people's mannerisms may need work. I fully understand that. I've met the sort of people. Brings me back to middle school times. I'll leave it at that. But I'm not talking about those people. If you don't have any of those issues and you are as normal as you can be, you know, with your own little flair to it, and you still find yourself like hard to make friends and stuff like that, and like acquaintances, this could be why. And my advice to you, if this is a problem for you, try to just move along your spiritual path. Keep trying to become more awake. And if you should meet some people who are also on that same journey, or people who are naturally drawn to you and you hit it off, all the better. And if no one ends up doing that, a lot of people who are on this planet for higher purposes are by themselves. It sucks, I know. I don't like the fact that, I try to strike up a conversation with people on social media and they act like I'm a burden. That's why my friends list is so small. So I will strike up a conversation and either people will talk a little and then ghost me, or they'll not talk at all, or they'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm just like, "Oh, was just wondering how you were." And they're just like, "Okay," or they'll just put K. I hate when people put K. Do you hate it when people put K? I hate it. But I rest my case. I understand that it's hard to make friends, but sometimes the strongest people with the strongest energies are alone because a lot of the people around them are not as strong or are a step below their vibrational frequency, and that's uncomfortable for them. And that means they need more work to do. They have more work to do on themselves, on their journey, on their spiritual path. It sucks, I know, but everything will be okay. In time, you will meet people who like you for you. Just hold out. Hold out hope. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And best of luck on your spiritual path.